All right, let's get right into it. For a lot of Canadian small businesses, getting ISO 27001 certified feels like trying to climb Mount Everest. You know, this world-class security standard that just seems reserved for the huge corporations. But what if I told you that you could actually reach that summit in just 6 months? Today, we're going to break down the exact roadmap that makes it happen.
So first things first, let's be honest about why this feels so daunting. We're not just talking about checking a few boxes here. This is a real transformation for your business. And yeah, for a small team, the traditional way of doing this looks incredibly steep.
And that leads to this question, one that probably keeps a lot of you founders and IT managers up at night. You know you need that top-tier security to win bigger contracts, to build trust. But the time, the money, the people, it just doesn't seem to be there. So, is it really an impossible dream?
Well, let's start with the first huge barrier, the cost. If you go the traditional route, hiring a consultant to build your information security management system from the ground up, you're easily looking at $50,000. And honestly, that's often just the starting point. That is a massive check to write for any small or medium-sized business.
And it's not just about the cash, it's the time. The traditional path demands a huge chunk of your team's focus. We're talking months, sometimes even years of work. You're staring at a blank page, trying to create this mountain of policies and procedures, basically reinventing the wheel, while your actual business is waiting. It feels like you need to hire a whole new department just for compliance, right?
And this, right here, gets to the absolute heart of it. ISO 27001 isn't just about your firewalls or your antivirus software, it's a management system. The whole thing is called an Information Security Management System, or an ISMS for short. And what that really means is that auditors need to see documented proof. Proof of governance, proof of risk management, proof that you're always getting better. It's the paperwork, not the tech, that is almost always the biggest roadblock.
But what if you didn't have to start with a blank page? What if you had a map and a compass to guide you up that mountain? This is where we pivot from the problem to a really powerful solution, the do-it-yourself toolkit approach.
Just imagine this for a second. Instead of trying to write dozens of complex security policies from scratch, you start with templates that were built by experts. This DIY model totally changes the game. You're not alone in the wilderness anymore. You're following a proven path. You get to focus your energy on what matters, tailoring the system to your business, not creating it out of thin air.
Okay, let's demystify one of the most critical and honestly intimidating documents in this whole process, the Statement of Applicability, or the SOA. The easiest way to think about it is this. It's your master checklist for the audit. It lists all 93 security controls from the standard. And for every single one, you have to answer, does this apply to us? If it does, how did we implement it? And if it doesn't, why not? An auditor lives in this document, so having a template for it is a massive, massive head start.
And it goes way beyond just the SOA. A good toolkit gives you that entire paper trail the auditor is looking for. It tells a complete story, right from the high-level commitment from your CEO and the security policy, all the way down to the nitty-gritty details in your risk assessment and your meeting minutes. It's a full auditable framework just waiting for you to make it your own.
And this is absolutely crucial for any Canadian business listening. The best toolkits are tailored for where you operate. That means having templates that already reference our own privacy laws, like PBETA. It ensures your system is aligned with local regulations right out of the box. No guesswork needed.
Okay, so you've got the toolkit. It's like having all the right gear for the climb. But how do you actually get it done in 6 months? Let's walk through the step-by-step roadmap. This is how you turn that massive mountain into a series of totally manageable hills.
The entire journey breaks down really clearly into 3 phases over those 6 months. First, in months 1 and 2, you're building your foundation and doing all the planning. Then, you move into the hands-on part, implementation and training. And finally, you validate everything you've built and get ready for the official audit. Let's dig into each phase.
So phase 1, the first couple of months, is all about strategy. You have to get buy-in from your leadership. That's not negotiable. Then you define the scope, meaning what parts of your business are you protecting. From there, you dive into the core of ISO 27001, the risk assessment. Figuring out your biggest threats here will directly tell you what you need to do in that all-important statement of application.
All right, now for the action. In months 3 and 4, this is where the rubber meets the road. You take those template policies and you customize and roll them out. You deploy any technical controls you need, like multi-factor authentication, and, so important, you train your staff. As you're doing all this, you start collecting evidence, proof that these controls are actually up and running. In a final stretch, it's all about testing and refining. Think of this as the dress rehearsal. You run a formal internal audit to find any gaps before the real auditor does. Then, you fix them. After that, you hold a big meeting with top management to review the whole system. Once they give the final green light, you're ready. It's time to schedule the external certification audit.
So, you made it. You navigated the 6-month climb, you passed the audit, you've got the certificate. What's the real payoff here? I'll tell you, it's so much more than just a piece of paper to hang on the wall.
You've got to think of certification not as the finish line, but as the starting block. It's the moment your business officially begins operating with a formal, proven system for managing security and earning real tangible customer trust, day in and day out. I mean, just look at the transformation here. You go from having security that's kind of ad hoc and reactive to a formal, structured system. Your risk goes from being unmanaged and high to being assessed and actively managed. But for me, the most important shift is this one, right here. You go from just assuming or hoping for customer trust to having trust that is high and, crucially, verifiable.
Because that's the real reward, isn't it? You're not just more secure, you are verifiably credible. This opens the door to bigger clients who demand this stuff. It builds a culture inside your company of always improving. It creates true business resilience, so you're ready for whatever comes next.
And ultimately, when you have the right approach, you transform the entire process. The guide we're drawing from puts it perfectly. You turn what was a massive hurdle into a manageable project. So if there's one thing you remember from all this, let it be this idea right here. The smart, efficient, modern way to get ISO 27001 certified is to do it yourself, but not by yourself. You use your team's knowledge of your business, and you accelerate the whole thing with expert tools and support. We've laid out the map. We've shown you the tools and the step-by-step plan to get to the summit of world-class security in just 6 months. The path from what feels like an impossible dream to a verifiable achievement is crystal clear. So the only question left is, when does your journey begin?